So welcome along to video number 4 in the series about building a support portal for your connectivity team. So far we've talked about why you should invest in a portal at all, what might go into it, and hopefully I've convinced you to think of it as an incremental project. In this video I'd like to talk about working with legacy processes and assets. By now you've watched a few videos, and so I feel like, we probably know each other, so I can be honest with you about something. Come closer. The fact is that everybody copies stuff. Your fixed specs were probably copied from somewhere else, either inside or outside your firm. Your processes are probably copied or heavily inspired by something a team member used or saw somewhere else. Or perhaps you're simply new to the firm and you've inherited something and you've never really challenged it or thought about. Now this is entirely natural, and I'm certainly not pointing the finger at anybody here. It's just the way that work is done. So why is this relevant to the conversation? It's to remind you that many of the processes and assets and the documents that you have today probably weren't deliberately designed. They are copies of copies of copies that have evolved over time and not necessarily in the ideal way. My point here is that portals can and should be customized around your services in the way that you need to interact with customers, but blindly applying automation and self-service to a existing, imperfect, possibly broken process can lead to a poor outcome. And so I would encourage you to think of the portal project as a wonderful opportunity to review and improve everything you touch. Automation and self-service on top of great workflow, that's the goal that we're looking for. Remember that a good portal will be as unique as you are, with custom components and custom integrations. Portals which are overly rigid in terms of how they can be extended in the future should be avoided wherever possible. And that's a topic I'll come back to in a later video. Now, before we start bloating the scope again, remember that this is all about baby steps and incremental change. You do not need to review and improve every single document before putting it on the portal. Of course you don't. That would take forever. But similarly, if you're converting a customer-facing Word document into HTML, for example, then that's a perfect opportunity to challenge whether the form could perhaps be improved or even streamlined to make the process run more smoothly in a self-service world. This is a golden opportunity that really doesn't come around all too often, so be sure to grab it. Remember that as you transition stuff into a portal, you're changing the delivery mechanism. If you Google the term developer experience or user experience, you'll see that this is a booming discipline. It all relates to how best to organize and present data to customers or their developers through a self-service delivery mechanism like a portal. I'll cover this topic in a little bit more detail in a later video, but for now let's just talk about an example. Suppose you have a document that's manually emailed out to customers in the past. Well, the covering email, the text of that email, probably explained what the document was and what they need to do with it. That same explanation and call to action now need to be put somewhere else inside of the portal to help users who you can't just expect will work it out on their own. For teams who don't have a portal today, this might not come as a natural task to them because they've never done it before. And so if you get stuck, then please do drop us a line. We'd be happy to help. So let's wrap this video up then. I've talked about migrating legacy processes and assets into a portal. My key tip here is that this is a perfect opportunity to review and improve those things. But in keeping with the previous video, that should be an iterative process. Don't try to change everything at once, or else the project will become overwhelming and never get started in the first place. Next time I'll tackle one of the big reasons firms feel boxed into doing in-house builds for a portal, the need to integrate with other internal legacy applications. So I'll see you then.